stop in here, and I got the sodas, or soft drinks, right in there. I'm trying to get this one. There we go. I take these two. That tiny pedal right there. Not like that. That way I don't forget. Overall, my plays, all the plays I've done throughout my life, and I was thinking, like, which plays have I done that made me nervous? I did Streetcar Named Desire, played Stanley Kowalski, I did an Irene Ryan. That's a big academic award. Well, it's not necessarily academic, it's a theater award for college level theater, and I did get an Irene Ryan. I wasn't never really that nervous for it, but I was doing a lot of push-ups backstage and smoking cigarettes. That was back whenever I could smoke. Probably say the most nervous I've been for opening a show, like as an actor, would be a Shakespeare show. Now, As You Like It, I played Duke Frederick. Not the biggest role, but a pretty hefty role, because you have to bring in a lot of force. You're playing a Duke. Pretty nervous on that. You cannot mess up on Shakespeare. Also, I did a piece, Richard III. I did that in Dallas, and it was a bunch of actors that all did different versions of Richard III. It was called The Richards. A little bit nervous on that one, and every night I did a little bit of editing of the monologue and got through it. Don't know how. You can't edit Shakespeare, but I found a way to do it, to jump over one line and land on another. Don't know how I did it. Just because I had it down. You have to have Shakespeare down like this. How occasions do inform against man, spur my dull revenge. What is a man of his chief good and market of his time, but to sleep and feed a beast no more? Sure he that made his flesh large and course, looking before and after, forgave us not the capability and godlike reason to fuss and us and use. No, whether it be best people living near some craven scruple, thinking too precisely on the event I thought, which quarter hath one part, wisdom and a very 3 parts coward. I don't know why yet I say these things to do when I have cause, will, strength, and means to do it. Examples gross as earth is what witness this army of such mass and charge led by a delicate and tender prince of spirit with divine ambition, puffs, makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and sure to all that fortune, death, and nature there, even for an eggshell. Now, rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel as a straw when honor's at stake. I'll stand I, a father killed, a mother stained, excitements for my reason, my blood, and let all sleep, while to my shame I see the imminent death of 20,000 men that go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot where the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent hide the slain. You have to, the last word was slain, but you have to know it without thinking about it, or you will not get through the play. Not on Shakespeare. You cannot improv Shakespeare. Those are the nervous ones. Shakespeare, yeah. All the other one, like Tennessee Williams, Streetcar, you could probably, a little bit of ad-lib, it's probably okay. But you cannot do that on Shakespeare. You can try. A guy named Robin Williams tried it one time. Became one of the greatest comedians of all times. All right, 7401, and we're on June. This is June Road. One of these trailer parks. You get some Wingstop. Well, they're going to get Wingstop.
The customer requested you leave the order at their door. They added the following instructions. Leave at my door.
Well, of course I'm going to leave at your door. All right, we'll find it. Well, actually, to be honest, the last word was, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody or nothing worth, and that's from Hamlet. I believe scene 4. So it's, I'm sorry, Act 4, Scene 4. But it's the final monologue. They cut it sometimes when you watch Hamlet. So I thought, well, why don't I give the casting director or the person that's why not give the casting director or the person that, you know, is casting, give them something new. I do To Be or Not to Be, that is the question, whether it's just Nobler in the Mind and stuff with the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. But instead of doing that one, I thought, well, why don't I do Act 4, Scene 4? They haven't really heard it. It's usually cut in a Hamlet play. And they get to hear a new monologue as they're auditioning for their new Shakespeare play, you know. So that's the one I committed to basic memory. Like that one is one of my back pocket pieces. I used to also do a Sam Shepard piece where it was Barry Child, where Vince, making sure it's Vince, or is it Vance? Vince or Vance. It's a younger character, usually in her 20s. You sometimes can play it in your 30s. But it's where Vance or Vince is driving and he's looking in the rearview mirror. And he's saying, he's talking about his father's face and his ancestry and the bones and all that stuff. It was from Barry Child. I did that one for a while, and that was my drama piece, and then I had a Shakespeare piece. And my comedy piece was sometimes a Shakespeare comedy piece that I would newly memorize, or I would just do like monologue that I wrote was like stand-up comedy, you know. So I think it's on comedy pieces to keep it personal. So I do like my own personal like stand-up comedy piece. I wrote one about, it's called The Poo Poo Platter #2. But anyway, so I would do things like that to keep in what they call in shape as an actor, to keep the chops, as they say. I found out it was Vince and Barry Child. So Vince has a monologue when he goes off. I think he takes a 20 from his father, and he goes and gets a bottle of liquor, and then comes back. His father's a raging alcoholic, and he comes back to give it to him. And as he's on the road, he has this monologue, and he looks in the rearview mirror, or he actually looks in the glass of the. Here, you can do either or. And he sees his face, and it reminds him of his father's face and his grandfather's face, and it goes on like that. Clear on down to roads that I've never seen before. I'm thinking wrong. It's clear on faces that I've never seen before. But anyway, Sam Shepard was a driver. He drove all over the place. He never flew. He never would fly in the air. He would drive across the nation. He wrote a book called Cruising Paradise. Sam Shepard did. He passed away 2017, I think, of Lou Gehrig's disease, which is, I think, is ALS. And he must have had it for a while. He's probably one of our best actors, Sam Shepard, but a great playwright. Barry Child, he did win a Pulitzer Prize for Barry Child. And True West is one of our greatest plays, especially for actors. Philip Seymour Hoffman and John C. Reilly did it on Broadway. Ethan Hawke and Paul Dano also did it on Broadway. One of the best performances we know is John Malkovich and Gary Sinise, who produced it. Gary Sinise produced it off of Steppenwolf Theater, meaning they were working out of Steppenwolf Theater. That's one of their best versions of True West, which is by Sam Shepard. There's a recent one that's not too long ago that was done out of BBC, meaning the BBC probably broadcast it, but it was done out of the UK, the United Kingdom. Amazing. Two unknown actors. They pulled it off immediately. The set design is amazing as well on that True West. And True West is one of our greatest plays. If you ever read it, it's by Sam Shepard. I like one bird right here. Of the 7-Eleven sign. All right, we're headed to Steak and Shake to drop that Steak and Shake right at your doorstep. I mean, smack. Let me get this gnat out of the way. Come here, gnat. Get up with this. All right. There's your gnat. I told you to leave. Go. Go. Come on. Go. Go out there. There he is. Come on, go. I get some fresh air. Nope, he's still in there. Come here, come on. Go. Shoo, Nat, shoo. Red Steak and Shake. Looks like a Western barbecue bacon steak. Right here. It's about $8.99. $11.70 on the calorie if you get all the extra stuff. Then while you're at it, have some Oreo cookies and cream, mint, or cookie dough chocolate chip. You can have some Snickers, Butterfingers, M&M's, Kit Kat, birthday cake is good, cotton candy. Nutella? You gotta be kidding me. Chocolate, peanut butter, and Reese peanut butter cup. They're doing Nutella at Steak and Shake. You can get a double for like $5. Their license plate is 777. Steak and Shake, if you want to earn rewards, you want to download the app, check this out. So you can pay with Google, or they have a Steak and Shake gift card. You can actually get it on the app. Or you can just use PayPal. So I could get Steak and Shake if I wanted to right now. They use PayPal. Venmo, or you can just place the order and set it up. Or you can just check out with Apple. And you also can add payment method. But it's so cool that you can actually use PayPal to buy something right here at the store. I always think of PayPal as something that you would use for online only, but they're actually accepting it at different places and everything. Isn't that cool? I'm just like flipping out. But you earn rewards with every scan. So you want to add it to their, so when you go, basically this is what it does. You go to the Steak and Shake app, you can connect it right there with your PayPal, and you get the points too. You basically can use PayPal now like you could any other card. I mean, that's proof of it right there. It's basically like any other card. Thought it was cool. And just to let you know, if you were wondering, Steak and Shake is a locally owned and operated restaurant. We'll check on the Cowboys in a minute. All right, looks like the Dallas Cowboys won. They got 20, and Cincinnati Bengals got 17, so it went to the Cowboys. So looks like we're doing pretty good. Well, this one's going all the way out to Mansfield, which I have performed there. So I performed Mansfield Theater, several plays at Mansfield Theater. Just went into Mansfield. Saw One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest here. It was really good. I was in The Man Who Came to Dinner. I played banjo. Look at haunted house. There we go. brain is going pretty well at Target or Super Target. Well, that's all the food to the doorstep for right now, at least for now, at this present moment. So, ideas behind my vlog is that they're kind of a multiple thing. It's not a show just about, you could say, God, or the relationship with God or with other people, and let's say filming locations and highways and food at your doorstep. But it's also it's kind of like if you ever have a delusion. A lot of writers, you know, people that write with the quill, the pen, the typewriter, a writer writes a novel or a story or a play, they sometimes include their delusions. They're not always, but whether they like it or not, it's in there. Hemingway did it. Bukowski. Don't want to talk about Bukowski. Shepard did it, of course. Shakespeare definitely did it. Read Midsummer Night's Dream. It's very delusional. And when you do something like that, let me try instead of trying to explain it in a general way, let me get specific. Watch the movie Reign Over Me with Adam Sandler and Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle's got a big chunk in it. He plays a dentist. Adam Sandler plays an ex-dentist, dealing with the horrors and terrors of 9/11 and loss of family. A trial is brought in. And there's a moment where Adam Sandler, he should get an Oscar. He should, at least for that one, or Uncut Gems, but at least for Reign Over Me, has a conversation with Don Cheadle's character. It's very hard to watch because Sandler pulls out this inner turmoil about visualizing his family flying into the World Trade Center in a fireball. He tries to explain it to Don Cheadle, the actor. It's very much Adam Sandler there at that moment. And the character is played in a genius way. Now, the direction behind this is just completely genius because they chose Adam Sandler for this particular role. It's kind of like he's crying for New York City, or at least bearing the pain and the sin of that horrible day of losing his family. Many families were lost. I felt compassion and I felt empathy, and right on the same level as that character at that moment, of visualizing, imagining what these people went through for just really nothing at all. When we look back at this 100 years from now, 9/11 was for really nothing at all. It didn't solve anything. Whether the South did it or it was Taliban, who knows? There's the different theories and conspiracy theories that people have to kind of adopt at times. Whether they're right or wrong, it really amounts to nothing. That's what terror arrives at. Nothing. So Chris Kyle goes out, kills 300 or 600 people, and we're still in the same boat. Cool car. We're still in the same boat. Exactly where we were. Let me explain a visualization, or let me explain what I saw on that day. I remember hearing a man who was sitting next to a table outside before a restaurant on the day of September 11th, 2001. And he told another person that the children are still playing in the park as the buildings were aflame. I came to conclusion that things were going to continue on, even though a great amount of people, up to about 3,000 people, were turned into ash. And I came to conclusion that we were going to move on, that we were going to go to the next day and nothing was going to happen. There was something in me saying that was enough. That was enough terror for now. That was enough. Now, when you leave a situation like that, when you see the Titanic go down, when you see the World Trade Centers fall into ash and smoke billows, you ask yourself, first of all, is that enough? Then the second thing that you do is it starts to transform into delusion, because you cannot accept that. Nobody can accept that. So back to Adam Sandler and Reign Over Me. He tried to accept it and could not. And there's also a moment where he's rocking back and forth in the courtroom looking at the photograph of his family that were lost, because they made him do it in the courtroom. And he went through all of this pain because he tried to accept it. I remember my teacher, who has passed away, Bob Lavelle, passed away. He was buried, don't know exactly where he was buried, but I know his funeral was held at the Actors Studio. I remember him telling me, this is going to take a long time to process. This New York City, is what he was saying. And he was talking about September 11th, but he's going to say this is going to take a very long time to process. The idea about Reign Over Me was, it was about finding a way to process something that cannot be processed. And that's what makes it interesting. We did have an orange pollution alert and an air pollution watch today. All right, there'll be a little bit more after this. Here we are, skyline at night, Fort Worth, Texas, where we keep the good people in and the bad people out. Anyway, so that's, kind of reviewing some footage. I'm really kind of interested. I'm trying to figure out if they are going to put Dr. Blood, the haunted house, somewhere in here, or maybe it's there. I don't know. No, it's right there. There it is. There. You can see like the side of it right there. It's cool. I guess a rain came through and knocked that demon down, and they'll probably stand it up. I don't know. It's really creepy. I don't even know how much it cost to go into Dr. Blood, if they're even still doing Dr. Blood, or if it's another company. But anyway, it won't be until next month, and there's no way I would have time to do any, like help out on a haunted house. But I do watch Escaping the Mouse. Oh, whoa, what was that? I do watch Escaping the Mouse, and Breck has actually had to take time off of, well, he's still doing it. The Silo is Screams out in Waco. But he's not doing 2 nights a week. He's doing like 1 night a week. I always thought it'd be cool to go see him there, even though, it would be really cool to see him there in Silo is Screams, because I kind of wanted to meet him. I know he's playing like a doctor or something crazy, some character he's playing in the haunted house. Anyway, I kind of got drawn into vlogging because of 3 different bloggers. The first being Jordan the Lion. That's the one I found first. The second being Adam the Woo. And then the third being Breck Roll out in Waco, Texas. Those were the 3 that kind of inspired me, getting me started. Still like all 3 shows. They're really great shows. Very different though. All 3 shows are very different. But it would be cool to go to the Silo of Screams, and just kind of vlogging, because then I would have some footage, because the guy's practically famous. But I don't know. We'll have to see. But we don't know what night. That's the thing. I don't know if he talks about this particular night that he'd be there, but he may on a live stream. So, and you also have to go to the live stream. Live streams can be 2 hours long. You got to go get on the live stream, and then you can communicate, or you can get the information. But it'd be cool to just kind of vlog it, or at least go to Silo Screams and vlog it. It's kind of, kind of one of the scary things. St. Paul Lutheran Church is approaching. And I get my daily scripture, the sermon. Whoa. We're in a hurry today. All right, let's see. It looks like, I think it's the one we got last time. It is Jesus himself carried our sins. 1 Peter 2:24. And boy, that one can be analyzed. That one helps. That one helps.
Glenn. This was very delicious. C'était vraiment délicieux. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.